Thank you so much for visiting us again on Swahili for Africa. My name is Imani Yohani Power. I'm talking to you from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. I just have a topic. I believe I have discussed this before, maybe around 2 or 3 years ago when I mentioned about black people calling Africa a European name. So I think I have made a video about this topic, but it's coming back because a lot of people are still debating on the origin of the name Africa. And just because I believe it's based on lack of information maybe, or right information, I don't really know. But anyways, so I decided that why don't I address this again today so that you will understand exactly what is going on. So let's start by looking into some claims, because there is claims that say that Africa is a name that were driven from a Italian general, Africanus, after he conquered the continent of Africa. So first of all, that is false. That's number one. Why is it false? Because the name Africa as a continent is very new. There was no such thing called Africa as a continent until when white people decided to actually create themselves a place, and they call that Europe, which is they call that Europe is a continent. It's not a continent. Europe is attached to Asia. There is nothing divide Europe from Asia. But anyways, so after they done that, they came back and they say, hey, you know what? Because most of historical figure and religions areas were founded in Northeast Africa. When I say Northeast Africa, I'm talking about the word they call Middle East today. There's no such called Middle East. This is 19, or if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's 18th century word Middle East. It's very new. So they decided to cut Africa, what we call today Africa, in pieces so that they can have what they call Middle East separate from Africa. And then they can call this mass land Africa. So if someone said that Africa name came from Italian general who conquered Africa, there has never been any general, whether Italian or European, or someone in history who conquered whole Africa. That is not true. So for that reason, so then where is this name Africa came from? Because Africanus, who they say is the one who gave the name Africa, that is impossible, because in Latin and Greek, the word Africanus means nothing. There is no word in Latin or Greek that's relating to Africanus or Africa. So that's absolutely true, that the word doesn't mean something in the language. So there is no way that Africanus will conquer Africa and then name himself Africanus, unless maybe he's stealing the name from something or some people. That's why I try to make you understand that Africanus could not conquer Africa and name himself Africanus, because that will definitely not be true. So what was his name before he conquered Africa? That it would be the question you should ask, because he did not conquer Africa when he was born, because the people are given name when they are born. So anyways, so the word Africa then came from where? The word Africa came from the ancient Egyptian language. I said this before, and let me repeat again, because these brainwashed Negroes, they always go around and trying to give you credit to the Europeans on everything, anything that they cannot give credit to our ancestors who created most of things. They will always give credit to the white people, these new journey comers, Europeans who start to talk or start to be here, maybe at least possibly 5,000 years. So we've been here for a long time. Anyways, so the word Africa, it means the land of spirit in ancient Egyptian language. It's the land of spirit. So now, why is this name happen to be the name they call African continent? Remember, there is another side of argument. They say that Africa actually, the original name is Akabland, which I hope you have heard this if you've been listening. I don't disagree with that, but I also don't agree with that, because there have not been any concrete proof that Akabland was the original name of the whole continent. As I said already, this continent was not named based on the locations and division that is we have today. So there was no way you could call Africa as it is today, because that means we include people in what they call Middle East. Hence we have Afro-Asiatic languages in Africa. So how will you classify then the Sidonians, the Phoenicians, the Canaanians, or the Ethiopians, or the Egyptians? Because all these people are speaking Afro-Asiatic languages. So for that reason, that's why they did not. But anyways, so someone said that it was ethnic living in North Africa, where in Put land, P-U-T, which is what we call today Libya. So that there was an ethnic called Africa. That's where the name came from, which also we do not have a concrete evidence, but we sure know that the name Africa, which means the land of spirits, is originate from ancient Egyptian language. So anyways, that being said, nashukuru sana ndugu mtazamaji na msikilizaji kwa kujiunga nasi, na kutakia uwe na weekend njema. Kwa heri na Mungu ibariki Afrika, tuko pamoja. Asante sana. Goodbye.